4-5 is famous, baby. Here we go.
We both acknowledge the cops were wrong. I mean, that's clear. But I notice, like, sometimes I'll say things on Twitter, and I realize people don't really have the full backstory of what I'm trying to say. Or maybe I won't, because, like I said, when this happened, I didn't, tweet justice for George Floyd or whatever. Like, I haven't tweeted a lot about his situation specifically, because for me, it goes, I know where my heart is. Like, I know what it goes without saying, like, that shit is wrong. Like,
yeah,
it's clear. I feel like I don't have to explain myself on that, but it's like the aftermath of it and what we should be doing to change that is where it's like that's where my focus is.
That's where the line gets kind of blurred.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like we're just, as a society, just lost.
Because I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for like taking advantage of corporations. Corporations take advantage of us every single day, and they get support from the government to do that. So I'm all advantage about taking advantage of any corporation whenever you get the chance, as long as you don't get caught doing it. But at the same time, you have to be selective on how you make that message, because, yeah, you can go loot targets and shit like that. But then again, like, all right, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Like, is that statement really being made or making you any better than anybody else out there?
I just want people to be honest. Like, I know, so if I was, like, in a big city like Minneapolis where the first riots have happened, if I was there and that Target, I would have been in that Target. Like, I would have been getting
for sure.
Like, I was getting mad at some of the people taking clothes and shit. I'm like, why aren't you going after the iPods and EarPods and iPhones and Macs? Like, we're not getting right.
So did you see that shit from the Apple store? So any phone that was stolen from the Apple store out there in Minneapolis, or any Apple phone or any Apple store out where places are getting looted and shit, those Apple phones, they have a lock on them. So as soon as you take them out, you try to activate, do whatever it is, it says this phone is locked, blah, blah, blah. Return it to the actual place that it was taken from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they basically put like a SIM lock on it.
Is that just
like
on
an iCloud
phones?
lock.
Well, I would assume it has to go for Macs too.
Any device, any Apple
AirPods?
device. Yeah, because it's like an iCloud lock. Oh, AirPods probably not, because those don't really have their
so
own,
I'll
like.
go after the AirPods.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, even with that, there has to be some way to bypass all that shit.
Oh, there's definitely a way to bypass it. You just got to know how to bypass it, but still.
Yeah, I'm saying that wouldn't stop me. Like, if that shit. Oh.
But nah, like you said, like I mean, but it's different now, because right now we're in the middle. We're in the middle of two pandemics. One's 100% real. The other one, we're still trying to figure out if it. You know what I mean? Like, COVID. Is it still here? You know what I'm saying? So, like, with these protests and these riots, I think that COVID scare is getting pushed out the way automatically. Like, automatically.
For sure. It's not even in people's mindset. And
It's not.
And it shouldn't be.
But at this point, I don't think so.
So my opinion with the whole.
I'm guessing.
Huh?
Nah, people should still be worried about COVID a little bit.
Fuck
A little bit.
Don't be worried. No mask. I'm seeing. Make sure you wear a mask. I mean, if you want to wear your mask to be.
No. Make
covered,
sure you wear a mask. Your face. Cover your
If
face.
you want your face to be covered.
That's one big thing.
You. But to wear, if you think you're wearing a mask because COVID's out there and you're surrounded by 1,000 people, like
you're no longer worried about COVID if you got a mask on at that point. But make sure your identity. Don't go out there wearing like shit that you wear on a daily basis. So, like, I'm not saying daily basis, like shit you wear normally, like people know your clothing. Wear some shit, like go buy some. This is the type of shit that you will go buy some like Wrangler jeans or some shit from Walmart and wear that to go loot. You don't have to go out with dress fly.
Like, my problem with the protests, like, you can protest, riot, all that. Like I said, when it comes to those Targets, big brand stores, if you want to get right in there, go ahead. Like, I'm not mad at you with that, because like, if I was out there, I'd be doing the same thing. But I'm not going to spin it and make it. I'm not going to lie to myself and lie to other people and act like this is what's going to change shit. That's not going to change shit, bro. Like, we have evidence of that. Go back to the 90s, 80s, LA riots. LA riots is the big one, because that's the one everybody knows about. But it's called LA, like, it's phrased
That's
LA
when
riots, but it wasn't just going on in LA. It was going on in other big cities.
Yeah.
It was going on everywhere.
Maryland was Maryland was down with it too.
So we've been here before.
Baltimore, Maryland's the state.
We rioted before.
Yep.
Going back to the 90s. Shit hasn't changed. We rioted last election season. We rioted during the Obama years. People want to blame Trump. Blah, blah, that's a whole nother thing. But it happened during Obama years too. This is nothing new. So it's like I said, when it comes to the riots and protests, if you want to do that, cool. If you want to get right with the stores, cool. Just don't try to convince me that this is about like change. No, I think that's gone, bro.
That's gone. I agree with you there to an extent, because it's the thing for me, and it's like at times I feel like I don't have a place to say shit like this, because obviously I don't wake up in the morning with the same struggles and shit as everybody else does, as black people do. But for me, I'm already at the point where I'm angered at like that this shit is still going on. So I'm feeling that. So then I take that and I multiply that. Like, I don't even multiply it. I'm now squaring it to different powers. It's like that anger to the power of like 10 or 100. And I feel like that's how every black person feels.
All right, so it's not that all right, so when it comes to the rioting, right, it's not like I'm saying the peaceful protest is right and then the riots are wrong, or the riots are right and the peaceful protest is wrong. It's that I feel like they want the riots. Like, it's all part of the same game. Like,
Oh no, of course they do.
So
I think what I might have touched on this in the car a little bit. The last podcast we had, where I was talking about how white people having their protests and all that stuff for being locked up in the house for 2 months with their guns and all that stuff, spitting, doing whatever they did during that time. I don't give a fuck what they did. They did their shit. Now that this is going on, you're right. It is a part of the program. They wanted this from the beginning. They wanted to let those people out there, and it totally it got blown off once I saw the behavior from the police. How you a cop or a person in power, and wherever the fuck you at, especially with them people like for COVID. For COVID and COVID being out, how you a cop and they give you millions of reasons not to jack somebody up. You mean to fuck somebody up, put your elbow, belly club upside the head, whatever. And you didn't take one of them. And now these protests are going down because George Floyd got killed and a whole bunch of other people getting killed. And now you just want to let loose just because these people are peaceful when you drive by them, opening your doors and hitting them and shit like that, or like hitting them with tear gas.
that's different though.
This is a part of their
magnitude.
Yeah, but this is a part of their narrative. They wanted that. Remember I was talking about that white nationalism and how like now they're gonna get a little bit more prideful as they deserve to be here more than anybody else. You know what I mean? Because of the times that they were out protesting and shit like that. Now that's gonna start popping up a little bit more. I'm telling you, it was all a part of the plan. They wanted to show that so that they can kind of, the media or whoever's like gonna be blowing this up within the next couple of weeks could be like, the white people for COVID. They're gonna say it as the white people for COVID peacefully protested, and then you have the other protests and all that with the riots and all, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna paint it and say,
I see the angle you're going.
I'm waiting for these narratives to come out because I know that's exactly what they were constructing to happen.
Behold a Pale Horse. That's more along the lines of what I'm thinking about. What I'm talking about is that in that book, it literally talks about energy. It literally talks about how scientists, economists, people who just study like the population, people, the effects of and how they act and how they react, and how they've been studying it for years, and they could like they'll literally fuck with a market. Like it could be any market, it could be clothing market or food market, any type of commodity. They'll fuck with it just to see the reaction. So, and then they'll measure that and then be able to like replicate it. So it's like the economy. And when I talk about economy, it's not just money, just the way people act.
So they create almost like a forecast of what they've already measured.
Yeah.
So
it's social engineering.
Yep. So this event happened because of this. We can mimic it again at a different impact or intensity depending on what we do.
Right. So that's more along the lines of what I'm thinking this all is that like the people who are at the top, whatever you want to call them, any name you want to group, billionaires, bankers, Illuminati, whatever it may be. You, they understand what's happening right now, and like it's an election season. It's like we're gonna go from one thing to the next thing. It's like we went to COVID, now we're gonna go to here. Next thing we're probably gonna go is to what's next, like hurricane season, shit. It's like all part of the same script. It's like the same game being played over and over again.
That's why it's a simulation, because they already know what's going on before it goes down.
If you go back to 2016. What was happening in 2016? Like it was all the same shit. Like we've gone through Baltimore, we've gone through Ferguson, we've gone through all these shit. It's like it's the same shit over and over again. So if I say something on Twitter I don't want to get lumped in with the people. Like if I talk shit about protest type shit, I'm not trying to get lumped in with people like the white racists who are just like talking shit. Oh, look at these people looting, and I feel like that's where people will put
you in, yeah,
because they don't understand. No, I'm not. I've been off those people. Like I've been disagreed. There's not even point arguing with those people at this point. Like if you're a white person saying all lives matter and you're mad at the protest, like you're not even.
First of all, at first, like all lives matter. You have to be like there has to be an arrogance and an ignorance to even release that statement because you don't see every single ethnic background being targeted the same way. And it's not even just cop killings. I'm talking about cop killings, deaths that happen in hospitals, deaths that happen. We're about to talk about abortion clinics and all that shit. Like this podcast is going to be, we're going to talk some shit. But like that's the thing. It's not Black Lives Matter just because cops are killing them. It's Black Lives Matter because they're dying in hospitals. They're dying in abortion clinics. Like there's fucked up shit going on. There's black people missing like every other week or so, every month or so with no, like, how do I say it? There's no follow up, no details, nothing being solved. So that's where I see that arrogance or ignorance with all life matters shit like just needs to dead that.
Yeah. So with them, like I said, I'm not trying to get confused. I'm on their side when I'm talking shit about the protest. Is that I understand that it's just a game. Like there's a different way to go about it.
And he doesn't say that like this is just a game. Like nah, there's a plan, there's a ploy, like, there's a bigger game
obviously, plan. A lot of what's going on in the protest. Most people who are protesting shit are real regular people, right? But you see the Antifa types, see the cops setting up shit. Like you saw the video of.
Keep talking, bro. Keep talking.
Distracted me.
I'm sorry.
You saw the video of the stones being placed, like
the bricks in front of the store.
Yeah, the bricks.
The cop car that was out there.
The cops who are damaging the fucking places. Like most of the damages aren't from the people who actually live there.
Nah.
The black
bro,
people.
And they've been saying it too. Out in Minnesota, the people that 84% of the people, and I read this earlier, and I could be wrong, but like I was reading this from a credible source. 84% of the people that are getting arrested out there in those riots are from out of town. And then they're finding these Facebook groups and shit like that trying to get their loot on. People from other states and all that driving 50, 60 miles away to go to a city and community that's not theirs just to loot. The real protests from the real communities affected by the actions, those protests obviously, those protesters are advocating for, to just be seen, be heard, and be equal.
Be seen, be heard, and we like most people. I feel like want police reform. Like that's what they.
Oh yeah, a whole reform of the structure.
Right.
I would want the government of what police departments and all that. I want the whole structure and all that reform. I want military reform. I know I'm not gonna get that anytime soon. Especially with the whole COVID thing going on. Nobody knows how it really originated. Your eyes are looking crazy right now. I'm just making sure you're still with me. But I want a whole reform on anything that comes with, forces. Anything that has to do with forces. Just for the simple fact that this is all about... I looked at the thing, the meter that shows the when I'm speaking, and I was waiting for it to go up, but it didn't go up because I didn't talk. But like just because anything that has to do with forces has to do with power, and as long as there's a claim or if there's like a race for the power, you know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody else left on the short end of that.
But yeah, I agree with you.
Cause like it's another thing. I was getting hot this whole weekend. I was talking about shit. I never wrote any of it down. I was on shrooms, bro. I never wrote any of it down. I was talking to my boy Clay about everything I was going to talk about today. Yo, easy for them to disperse tanks, all that easily. Right? That takes money. For all them gas, tear gas and all that's all money. But where's all that money at when when you got doctors and all that and trash bags throwing on like t-shirts as wraps for like COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like this country just so this just keeps on. This year keeps on showing how gun run the US is.
All right, so
how impromptu they act.
Okay, so let's talk about it then.
Right? All right, let's talk about it. Cause Darren wants to talk about it.
So most people want police reform. Most people want, like, I agree with you, military, everything. Like if you had like your utopia, right? Yep. Police, education, the political system in general, all that would like we would change that, right? If we could. If we had like our perfect world. You okay? Because I'm looking at
good.
you.
No, I'm good. I'm with you. That's why I'm keeping the bottle down here, away from my nostrils, bro. 'Cause that shit stinks. But go ahead.
All right.
He said, "I'm looking at you."
Just so that people who like came in late or whatever, we have the tequila sitting here. We have the shrooms. So if we like get a little belligerent or like start not making sense, you know, I'm gonna have to probably cut this.
Nah,
Not cut it, but I'm saying I might have to chop this up a little bit.
Yeah, nah. First of all,
it's like people, so it makes sense because I know we probably sound crazy.
we might have to cut it. We're gonna have to cut in the disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah,
I'm not. Just for the record, I'm not gonna sound belligerent. Darren might sound belligerent, but I'm not gonna sound belligerent.
Anyways,
Nah, we both gonna sound belligerent.
anyways,
Say that word one more time. Say belligerent one more time.
belligerent.
That shit don't sound crazy to you? Sometimes I'll be thinking, this is mad off topic, but sometimes I'll be thinking about words, yo, especially in English, and I'm like, how did these words even come to be?
I think about stuff like that all the time. But
Yeah, let's get back. Let's get
I
back.
could get down any rabbit hole so easily. But anyway,
Go ahead. Utopia.
in our perfect world, right?
In a utopia.
In a utopia, we would have a completely different education system. We both agree with that. Completely different police system. Completely different government. Capitalism wouldn't be the like root or whatever. It wouldn't be capitalism. We probably have some whole other economic system.
It'd be a new one. It'd be
We
something
would
never done.
focus on different things. Like we wouldn't focus. Like capitalism is what makes people focus on money and shit. But we would focus on like more love. We taking shrooms, so this is all the shit we be talking about. Like we would be probably, the world would probably be microdosing in our perfect society, our perfect peace loving.
Everything
world, right?
everything would be legal and regulated. And I'm not talking about I'm not just talking about drugs. I'm talking about everything. In my utopia, food, water, all that, all the consumption of anything will be, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be regulated where it's gonna be enforced, but you're definitely gonna know what the healthy portions of anything is gonna be for you, no matter what it is. Whether it be shrooms, vegetables, anything you're allergic to. Shit, fuck that. In my utopia, we don't have allergens. We get rid of your allergens.
Yo, did you see there's a city in India that like completely got rid of any type of like dollar or payment or any, like everything's free?
For real?
Yeah. Hold on, let me look into this right now.
Oh. So while Darren's over there, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, my utopia would be so... Actually, nah, my utopia probably wouldn't be cool with you guys, but it'd definitely be cool to me. Because like I would have sushi bars with outdoor seating by the water, which I have yet to go to a sushi restaurant that has that. And it would be bring your own beverage. So you bring any bottle you want. Be BYOB. Bring your own beverage, bring your own bud, whatever you want to do. And then when it comes to breakfast, I'm not having any of that turkey bacon shit anywhere near my kitchen or my city at all. My country, my island, my world. Like none of that turkey bacon shit coming nowhere. So stop that noise right now.
All right, it's called Aeroville.
Aeroville,
in India.
Okay.
Envisioned as international community-free government, money, religion, and strife. Whatever. I don't know what strife means, but oh shit. This article says it hasn't exactly worked out quite as planned. Or whatever. So maybe there's a reason life is the way it is, right? Maybe this utopia, like, because that's where I'm kind of at, right? So all right, let me go back to
read that one more time. It
says India's Aeroville was envisioned as an international community free of government, money, religion, and strife. It hasn't exactly worked out as planned. I'm not even going to go into the article because who knows? The article could just be biased. They could not know what they're talking about. They could be deflecting away. Honestly, could be deflecting away from anybody wanting to try to.
Yeah, that could be gaslighting. That could be gaslighting.
So, but let's assume that they're right. Let's assume like
it's not going right.
Yeah, because I mean we're 2,000 years in now as a society and nobody else has done it. So maybe there's just a reason why we haven't. Maybe there's a reason why we're here.
Maybe we don't. Not everybody has the purest intentions they think they do.
Yeah. Maybe like there is no real utopia. That's what kind of right. So let's go back to. Let me go all the way back.
But that's a go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So
I'll come back to it later.
I feel like as a people, like from ages, let's say like from 0 to 14, we're kind of in our own like utopia. Even though we have little complaints about it, because we're kids, we don't really know what the fuck's going on. We kind of listen to adults. We kind of assume adults know what's best. And then we get to like ages like 16, 17, 18, kind of like we talked about the last podcast, and we start realizing how much shit doesn't make sense.
So we look for our own answers.
Yeah, we start, as we're getting older and we're meeting older people, we start realizing how they don't make sense. And we start seeing all the problems with government. We see all the problems with religion. Then we start just anti-everything, right? You just get into that mindset. I feel like between like...
Yeah, and I went through that.
Everybody went through that. I mean, there are people who don't go through it.
But there's also a big difference in people that go through it and then come out and realize they went through it, and then others that go through it and then come out and just think that's how it is.
I feel like the people who don't go through it are those people who just believe literally everything the media says. There's no conspiracies at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw Jordan into this because I want to put him exactly into that, but he's kind of on that. He's kind of on that bubble where
like if it doesn't get broadcasted, it doesn't make sense.
If there's not an official article about it, then Jordan is like kind of off it. But I'm not gonna throw him completely in there because he's kind of. Let's not.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway. So you kind of get into this like anti-everything, like you're anti-government. I feel like a lot of us end up anti-government, anti-religion, anti-all this shit. And then you can end up staying there, or you can grow past it. And like for me, once I started learning about history, once I started learning about other countries and how they're living currently, you start realizing like, damn, like as much problem as there is in America, like we have it very good. Like we have it amazingly. Like we live like kings. Like literally, like you go if you want.
The fact that we can go, I could just wake up in the morning, throw on whatever I want, and go outside. Like you won't find that in about 80% of the countries out there.
You can move your thumb a few directions and have food brought to you.
Yeah.
Like
Uber Eats. Like
we are living in an amazing period. Like we don't have too much to complain about. Like
we don't.
Even though like I said, if you want to focus into our actual day-to-day living and the problems that black police brutality and the education, like if we want to focus in, of course we can find problems, right? But like on a grand scheme, like if we're gonna look at this like periodically, like throughout time, like from the thousands to AD, from BC to AD to 1200s, 1300s, 1400s, 1500s to where we're at now. We have it like we're doing amazing right now. Like, you know what I mean? If you could drop me into anywhere, I would probably want to pick here again. Like,
okay,
give me this time period again. Give me this exact situation every time. Like, don't drop me anywhere else. Don't drop. And then fuck history. Like, currently what's going on across the world, like in other countries right now. Like, we talk about the political system and how fucked up it is, but like there are other countries when they have a change in regime, it's like war for like the next like 5 years, 10 years.
Like,
you know
when on the other podcast you were talking to me about if anything had changed in my life, like if I was unsatisfied with something and then I go like a different route to work or some shit, like KGB would be on your ass. Mm-hmm. Bro, that's how it really is for a lot of these countries. Like, a lot of these countries run that way. Imagine if you were just
born in North Korea.
Yeah, like...
you're just
first
a North
of all,
Korean baby.
First of all, if I had any knowledge of what North Korea was at the time of birth, I'm not saying I'd commit suicide, but I'd try to work towards, like, anything that would... You know what I mean? Because, like, I wouldn't want to... But that's me also, like, not knowing about North Korea and only the information I have. Yeah, I know I wouldn't want to live in North Korea. Even though, like, I found out that when I saw the COVID scares about him dying... I was like, oh shit, good for them. Like, that's good. And then it's like his little sister is just sick of twisted shit as he is. I was like, oh, that's even worse. Like, that's bad. So that's one of the places I would. One thing I had to like I said, I always bring the out of sight, out of mind shit. We always are oblivious to things that are out of our minds. So like every day, or not every day, whenever I get a chance, I stop and I see what I have. Obviously I always want more. Like that's a part of growth, is to acquire more, gain more. That's how it works. But with what I have and what I've lost, like, you have to look at that and you have to be very grateful, even for the shit that you've lost, just for the simple fact that you had that in your possession at one point. Bro, we can literally just call up a friend and see their face, their lifetime face, in 3 seconds.
Any other time period, that would have been magic. That would have been dark magic.
We would have been hung like witches.
Yeah, we would have been witches.
Yeah.
All right, so my point of all that was just to acknowledge, where we're at, right? So we acknowledged on the grand level, and now we kind of already acknowledged on like micro level, right?
Yeah.
Smaller level. Like when we talked about the police and education system being fucked up, and capitalism and the political system. So it's like, once you acknowledge, like, you take both, right? So you take where we're at in the world compared to everybody else, every other country, compared to every other time period and where we're at, versus the problems we do have once we are, even as great as we have it, the problems that also come with it. So it's like, which one do you want? Or are you willing to risk this? Are you willing to full out Are you willing to full out go anarchy? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to protest,
this is where I knew you was gonna come with for like your reasoning to be against the protest. Like, and now I'm glad you're. I don't know why I stopped you. I just keep on.
Right. So, and I'm not even saying on this next point that I'm fully decided, right? But if you want to protest and you really want to get rid of police brutality and you really want to change the education system and you want to change the political system, like you really feel like Donald Trump is, you feel me? You want to get rid of Donald Trump, you want to get rid of everybody, whatever. If you really want to change this shit and you really want to protest, that's like real anarchy type shit. That's like real. This isn't gonna change in a week, a month, a year. You're talking about 5 to 10 years minimum of like real, like outright war, like civil war type shit. It's like, are you willing to risk that versus, like, you think the reward is worth the risk?
I feel you.
And if you do, okay, you do. But then what's that reward? Because, like, we could talk about my utopia, you can talk about your utopia. I could think risking all that, right? Going through full anarchy, we're going to change this whole thing, we're going to shut the whole system down type shit. We're going to go through it for 5-10 years. Yes, I'm with it. I want to do it, right?
Okay.
That still doesn't guarantee that it's going to be my utopia at the end. It could be fucking way worse, or it could be somebody else's utopia.
It could be a compromise at the end between both sides.
Yeah, we can go, like, you know what I mean? There's no, that's why I would say, like, if I'm going to think in my heart, like, okay, I want the world to change. I want the world to be better. I want my utopia. I'm with it. But it's like, why I'm not deciding on it, it's not because I'm exactly scared of that, even though I is scary because we do have really pretty good lives and we are good.
We do.
But it's like, at the end of that, who knows how long it's going to take. And even let's say I'm willing for it to take 10 years. It takes 10 years and we're going to shut this whole system down. We're going to have a whole new system. It's going to be beautiful. Or we don't know what it's going to be. That's like the scary part. It's like, what's that risk? Because we can do it and then it could just be like way fucked up. Like we could end up just like China or like North Korea or like,
I feel you.
We could end up with a dictatorship type shit. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee that my utopia in my head is gonna be where we end up at. So it's like,
and not even that. It's not even like even the utopia that we end up that's for you and stuff like that. That might not apply to the masses. So when everybody that's on your side, like split from the other division, once they get there, they're like, okay, we fought, but then this is what we get. That's not really what we kind of wanted.
Like we could all agree that we could all have the same. We could all be in alliance that. There's police brutality. We want to get rid of police, or not get rid of police, but we want to shut the system down and have our own system. We want to get rid of this government currently, and we want our own government. We want to get rid of capitalism, and we want to have our own like economic, structure. We want to all that. We get rid of that. We could all be in alliance that we want to get rid of that. But then we're all gonna have different opinions on where we go from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know. I feel like people are protesting right now and it seems cool and it seems, you know what I mean? But the reason I feel like I could knock it is because I know you're not really down for the real shit. Like what this really, you know what I mean? If you want to go, if you want to push to 1,000 and do what I'm talking about,
if we're like, for me, along the lines of you speaking, if we want to full out go on and protest and really change some shit, we'd have to go into like a situation like in Uganda, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, or those countries that have those civil wars with those militias running around, where they're just running to neighborhoods and then doing what they're doing for a point.
So do you want to do that, or do you want to play Xbox? Do you want to do that, or you want to go on Instagram tonight?
See, that's what the hard thing is. 'Cause I could give all that stuff up.
No, I'm saying you can. So that's why I'm saying, like.
But I get what you're saying. You're saying, would you rather want to go out there and start that militia and then be pinned into the situation where you don't get to do that?
You're saying you could give all that up, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying I can too. But what are you giving it up for?
Yeah.
You're saying you'll give it up because you're thinking, okay, you're going to go through the war, but then after it's going to be this fairy tale ending. It's going to be great. But what if I told you it's like,
What if you lose the war?
1% that is gonna be this fairy tale ending, and more like 99% that is gonna just be like
go back to how it was.
Not
Yeah.
even go back to how it was. It could be 1,000 times worse type shit.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
get what you're saying. Yeah, because then the power that was established is removed, and then every other power after that is now fighting for the control.
Yeah,
and not
You're
everybody
gonna have
has the
some
same
Game
yeah.
of Thrones type shit.
Exactly.
Going on.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I got to the point where it's so easy to like. It's easy to talk about the education system and how fucked up it is. It's easy to talk about police brutality and how it should be way better. Like, how willing are you to really change this shit?
I feel you.
That shit
How,
will really take the rest of your life.
It's really. I get what you're saying. Your question is how devoted or how devoted are you to this?
Yeah, because you go into a process like I've been to the process for Zoe. And that was something that was like really impacted me. You go into the process for this George Floyd shit, great, that's awesome, it's cool. You want to loot and whatever, that's cool, but you're not gonna try to convince me that you're really doing some shit because you're not.
Okay.
Like, if you really want to change this shit, you're not changing shit.
Okay.
And we have evidence of that.
Yeah, no.
Go back a year ago, go back 4 years ago, go back to the 90s. We have evidence that doesn't change shit. So at least be honest with yourself. Like,
No, I get what you're saying. Any show has full capability of keeping it interesting no matter what goes on in the season. Cause The Sopranos is fucking top notch. Like, I might even put it in my top 5 best shows of all time.
I
might.
I mean, if you don't, then there's something wrong.
You gotta understand, like, I'm a big comedy guy, so like I have a lot of sitcoms up there too.
Okay, listen, Kelvin. This has been a long time coming with this conversation.
The comedy thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just wait.
Is this gonna be about The Wire again?
No.
Okay.
There are 2 different type of like shows.
Okay.
There's 2 different type of conversations.
Okay.
You could have there's like
Don't make
real
me laugh while I drink this.
there's real series like The Wire, Game of Thrones, Sopranos, and then you got like The Office, Fresh Prince, Martin, you know, or whatever you want to throw in that.
Okay.
Those are 2 different conversations. You can't put like they don't mix and match. Like, you
So
see what I'm saying? So when I talk about top 5 shows, or I say The Wire is best show all the time, or Game of Thrones, I'm talking about shows like that.
All right.
I'm not talking about The Office. I'm not talking about
Friends or anything like that. Frasier. All right.
That's a different conversation.
When I talk about my top 5, so like if I say, yo, I'm gonna put in my top 5, or I might put in my top 5, that means like my top 5 of my preferred shit. If I ever get into the debate,
You're saying,
if I get into a debate where it's like we're talking about real shows, like top 5 shows, then it's gonna switch up because that's no longer my opinion like anymore.
It's like the argument I compare it to when I have a music.
Smells fucking gross, bro.
When I have like music arguments or album arguments, like you're gonna say like, say I'm on an island and I can only watch 5 shows the rest of my life.
Okay.
Then then I'm gonna combine the 2 and I'm gonna throw in The Office. I gotta have The Office. I probably have to throw in South Park.
Oh no, of course.
And I'm gonna combine the 2.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Same with music. Sometimes people say like, who's your favorite? Who you think the best rapper and all that? And I'm thinking like, I always put it to, if I'm gonna listen to 5 people the rest of my life,
Yep.
any genre, any whatever scenario is. If I was on an island, I can only listen to 5 people the rest of my life. It's gonna be a different conversation than
who are the best.
Who's the actual top 10?
But you know what's crazy? You know what I really love about it is that me and you both as individuals and most of the people we surround ourselves can differentiate.
Most people can't.
Yeah, we could differentiate. Hold on.
Nuance.
Darren was right. Darren was right that we might become belligerent at some point in this podcast. But we can differentiate, right? I said that right. We can differentiate
and understand.
Yeah, understand.
There's nuance. There's a gray area. And then
there's preferences,
yes,
like and all that.
We could be objective.
And we can be very objective, and then we can also take ourselves away from that as well. And I'm glad because we have amazing conversations because of that. I mean, sometimes if it's in the chat, I might be a little, try to be a troll and shit, but it's because I'm bored.
So we can end this, right?
Put a little mushroom in your clam chowder. That shit gonna be good. Yo, them shits definitely kicked in because I am geeked, bro. We gonna move this shit? Yeah.
That was gay. What was that?
I don't know, bro. It just came out naturally. Just, yeah, like I can't even get to that same like, yeah, like, it just came out so fast. Like as soon as it finished, I was like, what? Like did I say that? Jordan's not gonna be. He's not gonna be happy with us today.
That was primal.
And it's on camera too. Yo, Darren's crying over here. Yo, Darren, take your shot, bro.
Bro, that was hilarious. I don't know what that was, but
This just lets me know. This just lets me know.
Instinct.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, I was observing it happen, and then after I still had to ask myself, was that me? Because like, oh shit. Yo, Jordan, I'm glad you came, man.
All right, we got that's a perfect way to end it.
That's an amazing way to end it with that fucking. Was it recorded? I don't even know if it was recorded. Yeah, you're crying. We need a close up on that. Come here. Darren's wiping tears away off his face. This is the last time we're gonna. Oh, this is the last time we're gonna be in this space. We had licks right over there, or one lick. We had one lick right over there. Honestly, it was cool as shit. I mean, it wasn't cool 'cause I didn't know he was a lick at the time, but and then I found out he's a lick. It wasn't that funny.
Damn, we're really out of here.
Farewell. So long, farewell, my good. What was it?